22.3% of you regularly watch but are not subscribed. Almost 400 of you that will probably see this video have not subscribed, and yet there is nothing I can do to convince you. I don't know what's up with you guys. You 100. I don't know if you found me, but hopefully you've subscribed since then. Thank you to the 1,230 people who are subscribed that filled that out. I'm bringing this up mainly because I have shut off responses for this form, and I will be picking a winner today, which is Saturday, which I think is when this video goes live, hopefully. So, yeah, there's that. But, I mean, guys, come on. Come on. Come on. We had a huge jump in subs, by the way. 6,000? Yo. You guys are the real MVPs. Thank you so much for that. I have been out this week, basically, on bed rest. Because something is going on with some kind of abdominal muscle thing. I do not understand, but it almost felt like a hernia at one point, but it's definitely not a hernia. I don't know what it is, but I have not been able to like sit up straight for a week. Super weird. Anyway, yeah, this is the intro. Hello. Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Guess what? There is a new legendary banner coming very, very soon to a FEH trailer near you. And so before that drops, we of course have to take our shot and see if we can figure out who it might be. I've been right probably like 10% of the time. Like I've guessed a couple. I guessed legendary Lucina. I've guessed other things as well. But not many. So don't hold your breath for that very bottom category there. However, the top two are almost a shoe-in, particularly this one, the August Heroes. Those are guaranteed. We know they are coming back. Now, the interesting thing about August is 2 of each. Much like Noah's Ark, they are paired 2 by 2, 1 by 1, 2 by 2. I don't understand how that phrase works. Either way, there's 2 of every color for the orbs, which means there's 1 candidate for each color present, including the new legendary hero. Now you might be thinking, oh, well, it's obviously a red unit because reasons. And I mean, I can't really disagree with that. That makes a lot of sense to me, to be honest. But, well, we'll talk about it in a minute. I don't want to jump ahead. So for red, we've got Erica and Reed coming back. Blue has Naga and Julia. Green has Hector and Gunthra. And colorless is Mila and Bramimond, which I think this is Brammy's first reappearance, because when he debuted, he then got like a 6-month jump to come back, which I always thought was a little strange because they don't have a lot of colorless opportunities. In fact, last month, when it could have been Bernadetta, it was not. It was fallen female Corrin who took up the final slot on the colorless banner, and I was just like, that's really bizarre. I have no idea why she would be on here. Later we found out that Bernadette was featured in a Hero Fest banner that had a bunch of coding issues. So there's that. But they went back to fallen female Corrin, and if I'm being honest with you, they don't have a lot of colorless options moving forward. But we'll save that, and we'll just go ahead and get into the next banner predictions for 5-star locks. First up, Midori. It's her time. Basically, she's up next on the roster, and she would fill in. So if we do not have a red legendary hero, it would likely be Midori. The next units that would be after, so probably more next month-ish, but maybe this month too. I don't know. They might skip Midori and put her on the skills banner or something. It's happened before. The next viable option would probably be someone like Fallen Ike or Fallen Julia, because I believe that is the next set of banners that we had was the Fallen Heroes. But as it stands, I am putting my mark on Midori, which isn't bad. I don't have her. I'd really like her bow for Wrath. It would make me happy, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see, because I really don't need Creeds. I really don't need Erica's. Although Erica's would, a further merged Erica would make my life a lot easier on limited hero battles whenever we have to use Sacred Stones units, and there's like 12 total to choose from. Yeah, so maybe that's something I look forward to in the future. Next up, Nils. Now Nils, I originally thought was going to be on the last banner. He was not, and instead they went with Fiora, which is another blue unit from that banner that he was on, which also featured Wrath and Layla. Layla was also on the last banner, so I was kind of right last time. It was a blue unit from that banner. It just so happens there were two. And yes, if you're not remembering, Fiora is actually a 5-star locked unit. That is true. She's got that B skill that you probably fathered to plus 10 free-to-play-ish useful unit that you've got. But that said, this is Nil's time. This is likely going to be him. And how appropriate that he's there with both Naga and Julia. I think that's just serendipity, if you will. So I would assume that he is going to round out that blue spot. If he is not, if that's not the case, then I would probably look for a fallen male Corrin, who is the next viable blue option that would fill in. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's probably going to be Nils, and I'm not surprised that they saved Nils for a legendary banner. It just seems like it makes more sense that way. He's a very sought-after unit. He's a very popular unit for the most part. So, I don't think they would put him on the skills banner, but it's possible. I guess it's possible. But more than likely, we're going to be seeing him in just a couple days. Next up, Rinka. Another very popular unit who has scored relatively high in Choose Your Legends polling in previous years. She is going to take my pick for green. Why is that? Well, mainly because everybody else from her banner, save Midori, has been featured, and it just makes no sense. If she is not on this banner, let's say they put her on a skills banner or something like that, then obviously, we're dealing with something else. No harm, no foul. It will probably be Fallen Leon that takes her place. Now, the interesting bit is Colorless. And this is the thing that I hesitate with. So I'm gonna put Bernadetta here, and I'll tell you why. Bernadetta has not been featured on a monthly banner. However, she was just literally on the most recent banner for Hero Fest with Nagi and the whole gang. They were all there. The issue is that the next colorless option that we have at a 5-star in the normal pool would be Julian. Yes, that Julian, who debuted with the Chris's. That Julian. The Julian that's like a couple weeks old at this point. That Julian. There's no way they're going to jump that far ahead to fill in the colorless slot, which kind of makes me like, I'm kind of feeling now that more than likely we're going to be seeing a colorless legendary unit. I know. Brian, you say this almost every time. Why is this any different? The big difference is that it's literally months of a jump to get a new colorless candidate in. And the way things are structured out, in a couple months from now, we will have a full colorless lock on the legendary mythic banner that takes place. So this would theoretically give enough time to have a new colorless legendary, and then 3 months from now, pop back in as a resurgence or a reappearance, and then fill another slot in the future. Because for the most part, the next couple legendary mythic banners, they all kind of have 2 to a color each. So this would kind of help fill that slot. And again, I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm the dumbest boy in school, and I don't know anything. However, it would be convenient and helpful to have another colorless slot to fill in. Additionally, I kind of feel like since Bramimon's coming back, they're going to heavily feature someone who's positive on the colorless. Bramimon, I mean, he's a good enough pull of his own, to be honest. Milla is as well. But I mean, look at that banner as it stands. Red is a little outdated, as is green. Blue has Julia, so that's kind of a pullback. Naga is not the best, but you know, decent support as far as AR goes. Sometimes I don't take AR that seriously, so don't quote me verbatim on that. Colorless genuinely seems like a pretty big pull, and if you look at the other colors, what you're going to have is 3 very strong candidates for red, green, and blue, and then Colorless just kind of has that. So I don't know necessarily what they're going to do. The options for colors for Colorless are very, very slim at this point. They've rerun Fallen Corrin, who is arguably one of the better colorless units that we could get. That is 5-star pool locked and in the normal pool itself. There's not that many options. Most of the good colorless units are typically either in, you know, the legendary mythic category or they're seasonal. Bride Micaiah, for example. So I think all that is to say that I think we're likely going to see a legendary candidate who is colorless. And let me explain who I think we might be seeing. So first up, Claude. Everybody loves Claude, right? He's a bow. People love bows. He has one. He rides a dragon and he shoots a bow. What's more epic than that? Not a whole lot. The problem is we literally just got Brave Claude and Brave Dimitri on top of that. So I don't know if we're going to be seeing Claude show up this soon. Also, I feel like we probably would see Dimitri before we'd see Brave Claude. Then again, there are a lot of legendary candidates that we haven't seen yet and have been skipped over. Legendary Ryoma, for example. And Azura. That's it. There was no Corrin. So, you know, maybe we skip over Dimitri, who seems to be slightly less tertiary in terms of route story than Claude would be for 3 houses, but he's a possibility, and he's, relatively speaking, one of the few colorless options that makes sense as a legendary. You can always kind of cash out with a staff or a tome or a dragonstone, but bows, you know, they can be any color as well as tomes can. So who's to say necessarily that it won't be him? They might make him a green bow or something in the future. I don't know, but if he were colorless, that would be dope. So Claude, I think, is a possibility, but I don't necessarily think it's going to be him. Next up, Micaiah, colorless tome. Very strong option. Also, staff unit. Take your pick. She can kind of do anything because she is Micaiah. And she has a bird. And that's really all you need to get by in Fire Emblem. Power of friendship and a bird. That's it. That's all you need. So, Micaiah makes sense. She, as a legendary unit, she's incredibly popular. She has brave units. She has a myriad of ults. And now that Colorless Tome exists, that just gives her one more option. Obviously, she is a Bride Colorless Tome already. But Staff is also kind of potential for her. I don't know that it would necessarily be Micaiah. We have had a decent amount of Tellius love recently. In fact, the next... what is it? The next Hall of Forms is also Tellius. That got announced relatively recently. So, would it be Micaiah? I don't know. She is a candidate that makes sense, much like Claude. But as far as timing goes, I just don't know if it makes a lot of sense. So who's to say? And now, finally, for the last option that I am semi-ish confident with, Corrin. That's why he's big. And off to the side, because that is who I'm picking. I am picking a colorless Dragonstone Corrin. Why would that make sense? Why wouldn't it make sense? If you prescribe to the idea of colorless options, Dragonstone makes a lot of sense. It could be Corrin. We have seen colorless Corrin before in Fallen Female Corrin. Like how she randomly appeared last month. Maybe that was a hint. Maybe that was a beckoning to what would show up this month as the legendary hero. I have said for a while it's likely going to be male Corrin who gets the legendary treatment. But I could be wrong. Anything is possible, I suppose. But you know, that just is what it is. This is really just a gut feeling. Any of these candidates, any candidate at all, honestly. It could be Sigurd. We could get a blue Sigurd and skip on Nils, and I don't know, Brave Camilla could show up as the colorless unit. I don't know. We don't know. Colorless units really don't have a lot of predictability with these things, unfortunately, which makes my job a lot harder, and I'm not happy about that. But for what that is, this is who I think we are likely going to be seeing on the next legendary banner. Let me just clean it up. Boom. So that is kind of my pick for who I think we're going to be seeing. Let me know in the comments who you think will be our next legendary unit. And if you're right, you get approximately 13.9 crunchy kudo points. They're delicious. Look forward to it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hey, all of you regularly watchers but not subscribed, please subscribe, I guess. I don't know what else to say to you. It's all I have one book, and that's just to ask. My only trick is just to ask. Please. Help us achieve a goal in a year that is terrible for pretty much everyone. Join me. That is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know who you think our next legendary unit will be. And until then, I will catch you next time.